Hey everybody, it's the holiday season, and you know what that means? Some Christmas gifts to open up. Well, I got a stocking full of games right here, so let's take a look at what's inside. Ooh. No, I am not doing Elf Bowling 1 and 2 again. I already did that last year. That game's a bad egg. It's Garbo. No. We're not doing that. Sorry. But it looks like there's some Wii games in here, so let's take a look at the first one. Santa Claus is Coming to Town for the Wii, based on the movie from the 70s. Yeah, this is a thing that exists. But you know what? It's a Christmas miracle because it's not made by Data Designs Interactive or published by Conspiracy Games or anything. It's made by Red Wagon Games, whoever that is. But yeah, maybe it'll be okay, or it'll play exactly how a Christmas game would play. Oh boy. Santa Claus is Coming to Town was released on the Wii in 2011, only 41 years after the movie it's based on. You know, I'm not really entirely sure what to expect considering my track record with Wii games. The game actually does have a story mode in it, which kind of surprises me because I figured a cash grab like this consists of a lot less than that. The story mode starts you off with telling the story of the movie with the characters whose mouths don't even move simultaneously with the dialogue.
I can answer all of your questions because I know everything about Santa. The best place to start is at the very beginning, when Santa was just a baby.
After the lengthy cutscene in which you can't even skip over, you start the actual game. It's a platformer, you know, and it's pretty basic from the get-go, but I'm actually very surprised at how well this controls. It's not by any means perfect, but it's far better than what I've ever expected a game like this to be. For the most part, you just run, jump, collect snowflakes, and later on, other items as well. I'm shocked and pretty pleased to say that this game actually uses a very minimum amount of motion controls. Mostly to shake trees and stuff to get more items, and later on to do a few other minor things. The levels themselves are very short, and the game is very hand-holdy, but I mean, it's a game for young children in 2011. What do you really expect? In between levels, there's cutscenes scattered throughout to tell the story of the movie, and it kind of showcases how bizarre the plot of this movie actually was. Banning toys and Kris Kringle being a criminal and stuff. As you go through, there's other minor objectives throughout the level, such as throwing toys at kids to give them to them, and collecting letters from them by calling out the random animals, fortunately using the motion controls. Eventually, you meet the Winter Warlock, and you play this stage where you follow him throughout the stage in sort of an endless runner kind of level, and you're randomly summoning animals to follow you, although I'm not entirely sure if there's even a point to that part. There's also mini games where you build toys and deliver presents. Unfortunately, they are motion control, but they're so short-lived that it barely hinders the experience. Who knew you could fix toys by shaking a Wiimote? Oh man, my Megazord's missing an arm. Wow, it really worked. Huh. At some points, you find the Winter Warlock, and he gives you temporary abilities such as high jumps, high speed, and invisibility so that the soldiers don't grab your arm. Ooh, intimidating. Generally, it's a lot of the same. It's the same 2.5D style, and it lasts for 25 levels, which is definitely a lot more content than I expected from something along the lines of this. After you beat the game, you even get a proper ending, and the entire game tells you the whole story behind the movie the game is based on. After you beat the game, you also unlock a Super Santa mode. Ooh, I wonder what that is. Oh. It's just high speed and invisibility constantly. Are you sure? Alright, who would have guessed? Santa Claus is coming to town. It's actually a surprisingly decent package. Now, I'm not saying that it's for, adult gamers who are looking for a hidden gem. No, but, it's for the kids. It's definitely a robust package for the subject matter involved, and I'm actually very surprised that it plays as well as it does. But you know what? There's 2 more Wii games in this thing. Might as well see what's next. Oh, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer for the Wii. Made by the same company, Red Wagon Games, and well, I mean, Santa Claus coming to town was a surprise, so who knows, maybe Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer will wind up being a decent package as well, so let's look at it. Here we go, Rudolph time. The game also appears to have a story mode option, and in this title, you even get to pick your own character out of the 5 different ones from the movie, which is definitely a great start. It begins with an FMV of the snowman from the movie telling you the premise of the story. The video is really grainy though, which is kind of weird. Like, yeah, I get the movie came out in the 60s, but I don't really see much of a point for a game graphic recreation of this having that cheesy static. At least these ones are skippable though. The first stage has you in Santa's workshop. I chose the elf who wants to be a dentist because he rules. This is definitely not what I was expecting and honestly hoping for it to be. You basically just go back and forth and try to catch presents, ornaments, and all that sort of stuff from being dropped by another elf on top of a ladder for some reason. And then you bounce them off your head to take them to the proper destination. It's just a crappy Rudolph version of the Game & Watch game Fire. Oh yeah, and guess what? To move left and right, it requires tilting your motion controls. Great. I don't even think you need to get a high score to move on, honestly, because it just seems to be a case of dealing with the minigame until the timer runs out, and that's it. After that, you move on to level 2, where you're in the workshop painting toys. But you just pick up wads of paint and throw them at the toys coming down the assembly line. To everyone's surprise, you control this with motion controls as well, and I'm not entirely sure if there's any strategy to it. I'm pretty sure there's no aiming or precision involved in this one. And once again, it's just based on waving forever for time to run out, and then you get to go on to the next level. Oh boy. Stage 3 has you making cookies. Yeah, I'm not joking. You just push the Wiimote out like it's a rolling pin, then you cut out the shapes, and then you throw them in the oven and apply sprinkles. That's it. That's the entire game. And you just keep doing it until the time runs out. Yeah, that's great. Stage 4, you can only pick between 2 generic elves to play as, so you can ride in Santa's sleigh and throw presents off of it into houses. It's just literally as basic as it gets, though. You do get extra points for landing it in the chimney, but you don't control the sleigh at all. You literally just time your throws at the right time, and if they get in, they get in. If not, you still win. And then after it's over, you get once again another grainy cutscene. And that's the entire game? Are you kidding me? I beat the entire game in 12 minutes! What kind of lousy package is that? I mean, yeah, it came out before Santa Claus is coming to town, but this game only came out a year later, and it has way more content than this. But this one, it's just an insult. 4 cruddy games, all gimmicky motion control nonsense. And besides having the characters of the mini games, you know, there's really nothing involving Rudolph in this pertaining to the story in the game and all that. I don't know. Well, on the plus side, there's one last game that we can check out. We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Well, that's a bit of a mouthful. More than 10 holiday games and activities inside. Oh boy! This is the only Christmas game on the system to not be based on an incredibly old Christmas movie. And it's also the first one released of the three. It was released by a company called Destineer, who looks like they were involved somehow in the Mac port of the first Halo game. Well, that's an interesting track record there. The art style is kind of lame, but, you know, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Sadly, we have motion control menus, and that's always kind of a bad sign. Before I go to the game, let's take a look at other weird activities that they added. To start off, you have this advent calendar, which just seems to unlock items and stuff in-game every day before Christmas. Well, I guess that's okay. Sure. After that, the first thing I did was select the fireplace, which you can change the color of the fire and make it larger by adding logs. You even get the burned marshmallows. I don't really see how people find this fun, but maybe someone does. You can also decorate this tree as well with random lights, garland ornaments, and a star on top, and man, mine is really ugly. Other activities include a sticker book where you just stick stickers onto the image, and all I gotta say is that I really want Christmas Octopus as DLC in Smash Ultimate. You can also write a letter to Santa, but it's kind of limited to what you can actually write in it. Santa just gets it and gives you a thumbs up, but apparently he writes you back sometimes, which I didn't see in my minimal playthrough of the game. The last part is just a picture searching game, and well, at least I guess it plays a little bit better than Where's Waldo on NES. Credit where credit's due. Finally, we get to the actual games in this, which there are 6 of. The first one is pretty basic. It's just a match 3 puzzle game. I mean, it's not too bad, but it just makes me kind of want to play a good puzzle game like Puzzle Bobble or something. The next one is literally just moving left to right, trying to bounce presents into Santa's bag, aka the one level from the Rudolph game, but slightly more playable. And oh yeah, you better believe you use motion controls to play this. But they're at least utilized slightly better. And while we're at it, the next game is incredibly similar to the last level of Rudolph, where you throw presents at houses while flying on Santa's sleigh. It kind of makes me wonder if this game had any inspiration on the Rudolph Wii game. The fourth game is weird. You play as a reindeer bouncing off of presents trying to get higher into the sky, and the patterns of the presents get more sporadic as it gets harder to go. This is probably the best game on the package, although that's really not saying much. The next game is a game where you make hot chocolate for an elf, but you have to make it exactly the way he wants, and even if it's slightly wrong, the ungrateful jerk refuses it. Only one more game in this package, and I'm all done. Christmas is done. Candy Cane Lane, so let's check it out. No! I said no elf bowling. These games are out to torture me. We're done. Thank you for watching.